This morning's speaker is a senior here at Bethel High School. She has attended all 14 years. She is the Executive Secretary of Student Council, a member of NHS, and Vice President of Blue and Gold Mentors, and most recently became an Academic Letterman Jacket recipient. The speaker will be attending OBU next fall to pursue biology as her first step to becoming a pediatrician. She stays active by starting this year as a football manager, now entering her final season of basketball, and will be golfing in the spring, all while being an active member of St. Benedict's Catholic Church. Her favorite high school memories include the homecoming assemblies. The speaker is well-traveled. Her top 3 favorite trips include Italy, Egypt, and National Glacier Park. Through her travels, she has learned that there are kind people everywhere. She's been raised in a veteran family and has learned that quality time is very important. Taking these trips with her family was uninterrupted quality time. She's a naturally reserved person, but time and time again stepped up to being pushed outside of her comfort zone, including being today's keynote speaker. She has become a role model to myself and many other classmates because of her incredible inner drive. Please welcome Miss Cadence Treece.
My great-grandfather served in World War II, my grandfather in Vietnam, and we all know my mom. It's different being a kid of a veteran. Your view of the world differs from that of other children. Today I'm going to talk to you about what being the daughter of a veteran means to me. Thank you Superintendent Posey, Principal Stewart, Mrs. Lynch, and especially all the veterans in attendance for allowing me to speak to you today. When you're in a military family, the pride, traditions, and characteristics of the military institution become a part of who you are. I was born in Shawnee, Oklahoma in 2005, and I've lived in Bethel all my life. Before I was born, my dad got sick. My dad fought cancer for 5 years, but lost the battle when I was 3. It's sometimes hard for me to remember him. In a roundabout way, my name comes from the military. In the month following my dad's cancer diagnosis, my parents discovered they were pregnant. My dad underwent chemotherapy for 9 months, and my mom was pregnant for 9 months. The week I was due to arrive, my dad was scheduled to receive his last chemotherapy treatment. My name is Cadence Rose, and for you to understand the correlation, you must understand what cadence means in the military. The first recorded history of a cadence call was documented in the spring of 1944. Soldiers were returning from a long, tedious march through swamps and rough country when a chant broke the stillness of the night. A soldier by the name of Willie Duckworth was chanting to raise the spirits of his comrades. In no time at all, the catching rhythm spread throughout the ranks. In cadence with the growing chorus of hearty voices, the weary soldiers picked up their pace. In place of a tired, downtrodden company, here marched 200 soldiers with their heads high and a spring in their steps. A good cadence helps you run 5 miles when you only want to run 2. I remember my mom telling me that being pregnant, working 2 jobs, and taking care of my dad going through chemotherapy was pretty miserable. But once I arrived, the chemo would be over. I was their cadence. Speaking of cadences, when we were infants, my mother did not know any nursery rhymes to sing to us, but she knew plenty of Army cadences. According to her, my favorite was something about a C-130 rolling down the strip and some airborne rangers on a one-way trip. My brother, on the other hand, always calmed down when she sang a particular cadence. It starts with, I hear the choppers coming, they're flying overhead. I'm going to stop here since the rest is probably not appropriate for a school setting. But Richard could fall asleep to its methodical rhythm and consistent beat in a matter of minutes. Military kids need to be resilient and know that their parents love them no matter where they are. Family and friends know they can get a call and will be there the next day as part of their extended family. After my dad died in 2009, my brother and I joined the Ingersoll clan for almost a year and a half when my mom was deployed. Even though Mom was half a world away, we are still loved and cared for. With the help of some stuffed animals, my mom tried to keep us connected while she was away. My brother and I each had a stuffed animal, and our mom took a duplicate set with her. Ours were named Duck and Cow, while hers were named Moose and Squirrel. Richard and I didn't get that joke. Regardless, the idea was to hug our stuffed animals, and we would hug hers no matter where she was. The biggest thing I remember from my mom's deployment was trying to work out the times for my mom to call. Most of the time, she got the time difference wrong, and we'd be half asleep trying to talk to her. Furthermore, if your birthday falls in June and you're a National Guardsman's child, you shouldn't expect them to be home on your special day. My birthday is June 20th, and my mom missed every birthday until I was 14. Her attempt to make up for it was to gather everyone she was now in the field with to sing me a happy birthday. When it comes to holidays, if you're a military brat, holidays are whatever day your parents say they are. I remember her saying that the date was just a mark on the calendar. Let's celebrate when we can be together. Even watching the news is different when you live with a veteran. No matter which area they're referring to, there's a good chance they have been there, know the people, and perhaps even have friends there. As they walk the earth in various parts of the world, they can share their experiences with you. Whenever something happened in our state or around the world, I wondered if my mom would be called to go. It's important to find a balance. Despite wanting your parents to stay, you knew that they had made a commitment to protect our freedom wherever they were ordered. As much as possible, my mom included my brother and me in her military life. In addition to getting dragged to the armory and listening to commanders' calls on off-drill weekends, we also attended several military balls in the National Guard summer camp. Richard liked the military ball because of the food. I loved it because it was one of the only times my mom would let me wear makeup. While summer camp was fun, waking up and doing push-ups wasn't for me. Mom did other things I'm sure non-veteran families wouldn't. When she came home from the field, she brought extra MRE crackers and let Richard and I compete to see who would eat them fastest without water. You won't understand what dry means until you've eaten an MRE cracker. The matching game was another interesting way our childhood was different because of my mom. Whenever she buys new green socks to wear with her uniform, she writes a number or symbol on each pair with a Sharpie to make them easier to match on laundry day. Most kids play matching games with playing cards. Richard and I learned shapes and numbers by matching Mom's green socks. And I can tell you, she has a lot of green socks. I would like to start to wrap up today's talk with a few examples of if you have a blank, you might have a veteran in your family. If your summer camp bag is smaller and packed tighter than anyone else's, you might have a veteran in your family. If you have a packing list for family vacations, you might have a veteran in your family. If you can't sit through a military movie without finding something wrong with someone's uniform, etiquette, or equipment, you might have a veteran in your family. If you're traveling and you have a choice between stopping in an Air Force base or an Army post, you pick the Air Force because they have better food. You don't walk on the grass. If there's a sidewalk within sight, you take it. I never understood, but my mom said there's a sergeant major out there who will know we are walking on the grass. If in place of hearing your parents say, "Look over there, see the pretty bird?" you hear 12 o'clock high, orange bird flying south, you might have a veteran in your family. If you can read a map, you might have a veteran in your family. If your parents have ever pointed to a box of rocks and asked you to please be smarter, you might have a veteran in your family. If you ever get lost and they bring up something about a whistle and a wet paper bag, you might have a veteran in your family. Before learning to have a telephone conversation, you learned proper radio etiquette. Though I did learn pretty quickly that if I wanted to drive my mom bonkers, all I had to say was Roger, Wilco, over and out. If when you go on vacation, every place you stop, your parents give you a rally point in case you all get separated, you might have a veteran in your family. If any time you get hurt, the go-to solution is drink water and hear some Motrin, you might have a veteran in your family. If you tell your parents you are going jogging and they throw a pizza belt at your head, you might have a veteran in your family. If you ask a question and they say, "No one is going to give you a personal invitation to learn, figure it out," you might have a veteran in your family. If your mom says you're leaving at 1800 and you actually know what time to be there, you might have a veteran in your family. I could ramble on and on, but I want to convey to the veterans in attendance today how much of an impact you have on your own children, your kids' children, their friends' children, and even the neighborhood children. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to the people who have helped not only me and my family throughout the years. To the teachers and faculty here, thank you for believing in me. I would like to thank my second family. Savannah, you are like my other mom. Thank you for making me girly and being a friend. Sorry. To the people who took care of me and my brother on and off throughout the years. Carrie Ingersoll, thank you. Sorry. Now I can't go on to thank all the people who have helped me throughout the years, or else we'd be here for a while. But you know who you are, and I thank you. Finally, I want to thank my mother, who never gave me any idea that I couldn't do whatever I wanted to, or be whomever I wanted to be. She filled our house with love and fun and books and music, unflagging in her efforts to give me role models. There are not enough words to express how thankful I am for you. Without you, I would not be here today. Let me close by saying this. If you have a family member who is a veteran, talk to them. They are living history. It is likely that your grandfather, who may be soft-spoken and frail now, was hardcore in World War II. Their lives have been shaped by Korea, Vietnam, and the Middle East. Take the time to talk with them before they are gone. While some may not want to talk, don't lose sight of the opportunity when the time comes. You'll be glad you gave it a chance. And instead of asking if you ever killed anyone, you ask, what was your happiest military memory? Or, have you ever been scared? Another question that you should get a good chuckle out of is, how was the food? To the veterans in attendance, I know it's hard, but if it's in your heart, please listen and share. You really are amazing. Thank you.